Good morning, everyone. My name is Quentin. Welcome to our new user training for TV4Education users. We're live today, coming to you from awesome sunny Brisbane. We hope that you're going to get a lot out of the session this morning. Now, as I said, we are live. So on the YouTube page there, on the right-hand side of your screen, there is a chat panel. Now, I've got my console here. I'm able to see all the conversations that are coming through. So if you do have any questions for me today, please make sure that you chuck them in there. I'll be able to answer them, get you up and running today so that you don't have any questions in the next couple of weeks when you're starting TV4Education. Now, what are we going to be covering today? Okay, well, there's a couple of things that you need to do before you get started with TV4Education. So we're going to run through those with you today. The basics of getting started, and then how do we communicate with the customer service team members if I do have any questions. All right, so let's jump into it. Let me just share my screen with you. Give me 1 second. Bam. All right. So a couple of things that we need to do before we get started with TV4Education, and they are all relating to securing the system so that we don't have Year 7s watching M-rated content. Okay, now to do that, we need to log in. Everyone should have received a welcome letter, and this is for your administrators. All right, that welcome letter will have the URL, okay, which is unique to your site. Every school has their own unique system. So it'll be something like stmary.functionalsolutions.com.au or sjps.functionalsolutions.com.au. Once you hit that website, the email will also contain your username, which is usually your school email address, and then a unique password for you. So once you hit that URL, top right hand corner, there is a sign in button. Click on that. It's going to ask you for your username. Okay, once you've done that, chuck in your password. Okay, if you do forget your password, click Forgot My Password on the bottom there. That's going to send you a email to your school email address, and you just need to follow the prompts to get that sorted. Oh, wow. Forgot my password already. Okay, now that we're in the system, as I said, we need to go and have a look at the security in the system. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is setting up the security for our users. So the way that we're going to do that is by clicking on the system menu, which is that little hamburger in the top left-hand corner. Then we're going to go down to configuration. And within config, we're going to go to authority editor. Now in Authority Editor, there is a drop down here. Currently it says Audience. We're going to select that and change it to Class Grade. Now here is where we should be seeing a list of all of the year levels at our school. Now it might be a list of numerics, so 7, 8, 9, 10. It might be 0, 7, 0, 8, 0, 9. It might be Year 7, might be Form 7, whatever your school calls it. Okay, so you should be seeing one year level or one entry there for each of your year levels at your school. There should also be another one called staff or teacher or teaching staff, however the system has been set up or however the data has come in when we've imported that for you. If you're not seeing that, you need to stop and you need to contact our customer service team. Okay, so make a note of it. What they'll be asking you for or what you should prepare to send to them is a CSV file with all of your student information. And that should be one file containing the first name, the surname, the year level, the homeroom, and the email address for each of your students. Okay, if we don't see that staff or teacher authority entry there, we need another file containing all of your staff members, and that file will have first name, surname, and then their email address. Okay, send that off to our support team, support@functionalsolutions.com.au, and we'll import all that data and get it set up for you. Okay, so if you're not seeing them, don't try and manually type it in and set up all your form grades. We need to get that CSV file so we can make sure that everything ties nicely together. If you are seeing the list, what we need to do here is we need to tell the system what security level is appropriate for each of these year groups. Now, our recommendation is to keep the security level the same as the numerical value of the year group. Now, what I mean by that is to check on the security, we click on the edit next to the one that we want to have a look at. So in this case, we've got year 11. Click on that edit. There's our security, and we can see that the numerical value is the same. So for 11s, the security is 11. If I go back and go to my year 10s, my security value is 10. Okay, if it's not, if it's 0 or 6 or anything like that, we recommend going and setting that up so you've got security 5 for year 5, security 6, year 6. Change the number, hit save, and that's going to make sure that that gets saved into the database. For your staff members, if you've got your staff group, your teacher group, teaching staff, however you've named it, we recommend that that is going to be security of 50. Okay, and it's just to make sure that you've got a long way between what the year 12s can see and what the staff members can see, just in case. Okay, we don't want to make it 13, just in case someone accidentally gives access to an R18 program to your year 12s, for example. Okay. So we want to make sure and set that up. Now, when we're setting this up, we need to think of these values as an upper value. So all security is, or all the minimum security is 0 up to whatever is in this box. So 0 to 7 for year 7s. And what that means is if a video is a security of 3, because it's within the range of 0 to 7, that student will be able to watch the program. Now, if we have an M-rated program that is a security of 11, because only the year 11 should see it, because it's outside of the range of year 7, 0 to 7, it's over here at 11, they will not be able to see that video content. Okay, so think of these as the upper values that these particular students can see. All right, so once we've done that and we've set up all the security for our year groups, the next thing that we need to do is we need to have a look at the video default security. Now, what this is going to do is if a teacher is watching something and they go, look, I want to favorite this resource. And they favorite it and that pushes it to their items, and it also pushes a copy to the school's collection. The system will give it a default security based on the video classification. So if the video was rated G, when it gets pushed to the school's collection by the teacher, it's going to come in with a security value of 0, which means that if we're thinking about that range, all of our year groups are going to be able to see G-rated content. Okay, if we have a look at PG, when a teacher goes and adds that video to the My Schools collection, it's going to come in with a security of 7. Now, if we're thinking about that range again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, our year 7s are going to be able to watch that video. If we've got year 5s at our school, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 is outside of that range, so year 5s are not going to be able to watch that program. Okay, so the way to think about this screen is whatever security a value is put in here, okay, is going to be the lowest year group that can access this program. So if we're looking at M, the lowest year group that can access M-rated content through My Schools collection are going to be the year 12s. So basically only year 12s and staff. Okay, we've got R-rated content, and that's only accessible to our staff members. Now, if we wanted to change that at our school, M-rated content is okay for year 11s. Hit year 11, hit save, and close that pop-up box. Okay, it's really that easy. So they are the two things that you need to do before you get started with TV4Education. Number one, set up your your class grade security. Number two, set up your video default security. Okay, now we do have an article on this. I'll show you how to access that article towards the end of the session today. Okay, so now that we've set up our security, the next thing that we want to have a look at is how do we set up our patrons. Now, our patrons are going to be managed through System Menu, Patron, and then Patron Management. Now, everything that we're doing today is going to be getting started with TV4Education. Okay, it's not going to be major advanced functions. So we're not going to be talking about how do I import my entire student list, how do I bulk import my entire student list. We're going to be assuming that as a new user, you've sent our customer service team the CSV file. We've done that initial setup for you just to get you off the ground. Once you're familiar with the system and you've set up the security, you can then tackle patron import after that. The instructions are all available in the help system, which again, I'll show you how to do that in one moment. So you can tackle it at any time, or you can join us for one of our sessions where we're going to be going through how do we do patron imports. Okay, in today's training session, we're going to be just dealing with one user at a time. So patron management is where we go to do all of the changes to existing users, to add new users, delete users. So if we have a scenario where teacher has walked up, brand new to the school, hey miss, hey sir, can I please get an account to TV4Education? How do you do that? Okay, well, number one, patron management. Okay, which is where we are right now. Number two, down in the toolbar, we've got a new button. Click on new, everything goes blank, and we just need to start typing the information. Okay, for the top field here, currently says barcode. Specify their email address in there. Okay, username, this is their network username. Okay, it's not mandatory to put it in. It will help your students log in if they don't know what their email address is. First name, surname, and then repeat their email address into the email address field. Okay, don't worry too much about security, because when we select the year group and we save the record, it's going to automatically build that security for us. Select their homeroom. Okay, if they are a teacher, this is important here. Okay, so not only do we need to select teacher in the class grade or staff from the class grade to make sure that their security is 50, we need to make sure that their role is going to be a teacher role. Okay, now what are the differences? Security controls which videos this user has access to. The role controls what modules within the system this user has access to. So if we want the teacher to be able to access M and MA rated content and R rated Shakespeare videos, okay, we need to make sure that we select staff, and that will apply the security of 50. If we want that teacher to have access to the teacher tools like creating lessons, editing TV4Education videos, sharing collaborative lists, monitoring which students are paying attention and which students are not on the lesson, printing off worksheets, all of those amazing tools that are part of TV4Education, we need to make sure that we give them that teacher role. Okay, so all you need to do, if it says student, click that cross, that will remove the existing role. Click on the field, that'll bring up a list for us where we can go ahead and select teacher. Okay, down in the toolbar, we've also got this tick box here that says email login. Okay, if we leave that ticked by default, system is going to create a password for this user, and it's going to send them an email that contains the URL for your site, their individual username, and instructions on how to set up that generic or log in for the first time with that temporary password and set up their unique password. Okay, so if we leave that ticked and I hit save, get a confirmation. Are you sure that you want to, oh, sorry. In this case, I've already got this user. I'm going to click cancel. It says, hey, you've got a passworded, you don't have a password in the system. I'm going to generate it for you. We go okay, generates the password, emails the user, sets up their account, and they now have access to TV4Education. Okay, nice and easy. Now, if John has changed his name, let's say that he's a student and parents got married, surname's been changed, put your cursor in there, type the information that we need to modify, click save, and it's done. That easy. Okay, so adding new users, modifying new users, just need to point and click. Okay, new, type in the information. If we're modifying, put our cursor in the field, change the information, and hit save. Okay, now if this user has left the school, we need to make sure that this user is taken off the system. Okay, our license agreement with Screenwrites, which is your copyright body, and with terms and conditions with TV4Education says that only students that are enrolled at your school or teachers that are employed by your school have the ability to access TV4Education. As soon as they leave or they're not part of your school employment or enrollment, they no longer have access to and are covered by terms and conditions with TV4Ed and your copyright license with Screenwrites. So to protect yourselves, you need to make sure that you remove them from the system. And it's as easy as clicking find, locating that user using the find, and then clicking delete. It's going to give you a confirmation message. We go okay, that user's been removed and they no longer have access to TV4Education. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, so now that we've given them access to the system, we now need to also understand the different search screens. Okay, if we go up to system menu, we've got our search. Top one is schools collection. Now, schools collection is a subset of TV4Education. This is unique to your school, and this is where you as, you as the administrators can curate a library specific for your school. You can add tags to these records. You can link them to other records. You can add book records in with it. If you're a library and a Smart Suite library and TV4Education user, you can tie books and videos together so that records are all linked. Okay, but this is where your school's personal collection of TV4Education resources sits. Okay. This is not going to be where you want your staff to go to find material. Now, the reason behind that is we have very, very, very proactive schools with us. Over the course of 5 to 6 years, their collection may grow to about 4,000 resources. Okay, that is a drop in the ocean of the 180,000 videos that we currently have on TV4Education. So if you have a teacher that's trying to do a search for microbionics, they might get 1, they might get 0 results on this page. We need them to go to the proper TV4Education search page. Now, the way that they do that is system menu, search, and then TV4Education. Okay, and they'll know straight away it's a white background and you've got the TV4Education logo in the top left-hand corner. It cannot be mistaken with my school's collection. So if you are talking to your staff members and they are saying, hey, I can't find the content, there's nothing in TV4Education, you need to ask them, hey, were you on a white page that had the TV4Education logo? Okay, if you want to make it a little bit easier for them, if you head to system menu, search TV4Ed, this URL at the top of the page will take those teachers directly to this screen. So if you wanted to put a shortcut for your staff members to any page in the system, that's the URL that you use. Don't use the home page URL. And that will make sure that your teachers go directly to this search screen. Now, if we go back quickly to user management, patron management, and we have a think about those users' unhindered access to the library. We don't want them to see all the content and episodes that are available on TV4Ed, only what's available in the school's collection. So if they do click that link, it'll give them a little pop-up that says, sorry, you don't have access to this page, go over to your school's collection. Okay. So once your teachers are on this page, homepage on TV4Education has a number of different categories. So we can see recently added learning chip content, which is the premium content that our learning advisors are flagging against specific curriculum outcomes and subject areas, documentaries, movies, etc. Okay, if we wanted to play any of the videos, we go, oh, To the Stars, 100 Years. That's perfect. Click on it. It's going to load the player. We get a little bit of information on the screen. After 7 seconds, that information disappears. Okay, if we want to get that information back, the toolbar on the right of the video has a number of options for us. The top one is the information icon. Clicking on that will slide the information back out so we can see that it's 100 years of the Royal Air Force, and here's all the subjects areas that it covers. If I want to see what else is available in the HAS collection, clicking on HAS is going to go and execute a search for me and show me all the other content in TV4Education that matches that HAS subject area. If I go back to the video, and I really love this video, I want to have access to it into the future, and I don't want to have to search for it every time. I just want to have an area where I can go and have a look at my playlist or my wish list or my favorites. That little star icon there, when I click it, spins around in a circle, then gives me a confirmation this has been added to your items. Okay, and a copy of that video has been placed into My Items, which is accessible at the top of the screen here. If I want to share this video with anyone, so I'm a teacher and I want to share this with my students, I want to put a link in one of my lesson outlines in my school management system, I need to click on the share icon. Now, when the share icon comes up, there's a couple of parameters that I have. Top one is, who do I want to share it with? Okay, and this goes back to that security that we set up. I want to share this only with my Year 11s. Okay, and that's going to make sure that if a Year 7 student clicks on this URL, it's going to pop up a message and say, hey, you don't have permission to see this video. Okay, link expiry. We want this to only be available for one term. Set the date that you'd like the video to expire, and the link gets rebuilt. Okay, so at the moment, my parameters are, I only want Year 11s and above to see this video, and I want the link to expire on the 2nd of June. Underneath it, we have two options. We have the link, which is going to allow people to click, come back into TV4Education, and watch the videos inside the TV4Education platform. And that's going to be a benefit because students are going to be able to use our playlist tools to add that video to their playlist and export bibliographic data at the end of their assignment. It's going to allow them to do searches for other content. And there's a whole bunch of other sharing tools and collaboration tools that are part of TV4Education that your students will benefit from if you're pulling them back into the TV4Ed platform. If you don't want all those benefits, you just want to take our video and put that into a third-party school management system, there's your embed code there. So copy that into your third-party iframe or third-party embed object, and it's going to take our video and drop it in over there for you. Third option on the screen is the QR code. That is an image on the screen, so if you right-click that and copy, you can then put that onto the top of your worksheet. Your students can use their smart devices to scan the QR code, watch the video on their smart devices, and then answer all the questions with pen and paper. Okay, at the top of the screen there, the right-hand side, you've got a number of toggles. Okay, the home option. Okay, now, if I was to execute a search, let's say that we're going to do a search for science, and I hit enter, the system will always default to the TV4Education library. Okay, and TV4Education is where all of our raw titles are sitting. So that's the content from Free to Air, content from Foxtel, content from our vodcast and our podcast, as well as our partnership programs. Okay, all of that raw video content is available through that TV4Education library. We can go through and scroll through all of that. If we're wanting to see what ready-made lessons are available, we click the lessons option, and here are all the interactive lessons that the learning advisors have been creating in the past. We've then got YouTube, which is our YouTube integration, where we can have a look at all the material that matches a search term of science. When we change our search terms, okay, it's going to execute the search on whatever library we're currently on, but we can then toggle back, see all the lessons on biology, and see all the raw video titles on biology as well. Okay, we've got a subjects option. So this allows us to go through all the subject areas that our learning advisors have set up and execute searches based off those. And finally, we've got our personal interests. So this is available for each individual user. We highly, highly, highly recommend that every single teacher that's registered on TV4Education completes this themselves. Okay. Now, the reason why we say that is because putting in your interest into the system is going to tailor the experience based off what are your interest areas. Okay, so the system's going to be pushing content that is more specific to arts and PE, if that's what your interest areas are. Okay, we also run program guides. Every month we're sending out a list of recommended programs from the learning advisors to those specific groups. So if you register an interest area with PE, we're going to send you the program guide for PE, not the program guide for the maths departments. Okay, showing you content that you may not use in PE. So make sure that every teacher does go on, register their interests to make sure that that experience on TV4Education has been tailored for them. Okay, if you're wanting to make any requests to our learning advisors, top right hand corner there is My Requests. That allows you and your staff to communicate with our learning advisors and ask them, hey, there is a program on TV4Education that's, on Free to Air that's coming up, or something on Foxtel that's coming up, or something that aired a couple of weeks ago. Can you get it for me? Okay, all of my previous requests are on the left-hand side. I can go ahead and click on Make a Request and follow the prompts to submit that request to the learning advisors. Okay, so if I'm looking at the premium channels, something aired on TLC, what's the date, what's the time, so on and so forth. Okay, so just follow the prompts. Our learning advisors will receive that and we'll communicate back to you once that's available. Okay, other than that, TV4Education is basically just point and click. Okay, so there's nothing too involved with getting started with TV4Education. We want to make sure that everyone gets on and has access to and can share the raw video files. From here, we highly, highly, highly recommend that your staff members engage with us through our YouTube channel and get access to all the teacher training that we're pushing out. That's going to help them understand all the additional teacher tools that are available. Editing videos, adding questions and interactive features to the videos, finding out the results, seeing how students are going live so that you can communicate with them and say, hey, I can see that you're struggling a little bit, can I help? All of those tools are available in TV4Education, but first of all, we need those staff members to log in. Okay, so where do we go to communicate with FSI's customer service team to get some help? I've got an issue, I can't get a user on, I want to talk to you about importing my full list of users. How do I communicate with you? Well, number one, for all of our new users, and these are schools that have come across and are new to the system, it opens up a chat console that comes directly into our customer service team members, and we can communicate directly with you live in real time. Okay, so for all those questions that you need to get answered straight away, Concierge is the way to go. If you don't need to necessarily communicate with us and get an answer straight away, but you've got an error that you just want to get resolved at some point, submit a support ticket. Now we can do this by top left hand corner, system menu, scroll down to the bottom to support, and then click contact support. Now this is going to take you over to our mailbox. Okay, so very familiar. My requests would have taken you to the TV4Ed requests. That shortcut that we had a look at from support took you to the support tickets tab. Okay, again, all of our previously requested queries to the customer service team are on the left hand side. We can see that they are all closed at the moment. Customer service have gone and answered all my questions. If I wanted to create a new one, click create ticket, give us a subject, tell us what the issue is, upload any examples, and then click send. That's going to go off to the customer service team. They'll respond to you and get your questions answered. Back over in support. Oh, click sign out by accident. Let me just log back into the system. Okay, back in support, we have search for help. Okay, these are all the articles that are available to help you navigate around TV4Education. So if we're wanting to import users, do a search for importing users. Here's our prerequisites. Okay, so we need a CSV file. The minimum information is first name, surname, barcode, etc. Once we've done that, here's the instructions on bulk importing students and bulk importing teachers. Okay, if we want to have a bit more understanding of security, okay, there is an article there on setting up your security. Okay, and like I was saying before, there is a little bit of an illustration there as to how the security works. So we've got a video record that's got a security of 6 and a user security record of 0 to 8, okay, which is our year 8s. That video is within that range, so they'll be able to watch it. Okay, so all the articles are there available for you. Just need to find them and go through them. We've also got a link to the training videos, which is our YouTube channel. Now, all of the sessions that we're going through now are live, but they are recorded and they're uploaded back to the channel after the event as well. So if you're wanting to come back to this session maybe next week and just go over how do I set up the security again, you'll be able to access that through the YouTube channel. Whenever we're posting to the YouTube channel that we've got upcoming events, we like to try and get ahead and have at least 2 months worth of live events scheduled. So whenever we post those, you'll get notification if you have subscribed and you have clicked the bell to get notifications of all those events. So make sure that after today, that's the first thing that you do before you go into security. You go and you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are also pushing video content up there as well. So one-on-one videos. This is how easy it is to edit a video with TV4Education. It's not a live event. It's just a tutorial. And we also have a number of other events that we run as well. So these are things like our coffee and chats and our share ideas events. Okay, where instead of it being more of a training style, we're interviewing and we're having conversations with other team members at FSI, as well as other users, and we're talking to them about how they're using TV4Education or administering TV4Education throughout their school. Okay, so again, if you're not subscribed and you haven't hit the bell, you're not going to get any notification of when those events occur. You need to make sure that you do subscribe and hit that bell to find out when those things are happening. Back in support, we've also got the Fsi User Community. So this is a Facebook group with all of our Functional Solutions International users from all of our product ranges. So Smart Suite Library and TV4Education. creating discussions and talking about various things that they can do with those product lines, asking questions about different library functions, different education queries. Jump on, join the community, and have a chat with other like-minded users. We are also pushing exclusive content to that group. So last year we gave away a couple of iPads and a Samsung Galaxy, a number of vouchers and gift certificates. Okay, that's only available to users within the FSI user community. So make sure that you jump on, you join that as well. Finally, there is a quick start guide. Now, this is a printable version of all the features that are available that we think users will use within the first 6 months of having the system. Now, it is going to have some of our Smart Suite library instructions in there. So things like cataloging and circulating, but it also has instructions for searching, smart classrooms, which is all the adding questions, clipping the videos. All of that is available through the quick start guide. So if you wanted to, for example, print out just the adding questions or creating lessons component, you can then send that to all your teachers. Okay, and all of that is accessible directly through the support menu option. Okay, now that is the training for today. That is training for new users on TV4Education. Now, I really hope that everyone got a lot out of the session today, and you're going to be able to get up and running and started with TV4Education ASAP. If you do have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We love communicating and we love helping you out. So hit the concierge, hit the support tickets. If you're someone that likes to have a look at resources themselves before they talk to support, jump over to that support menu and have a look at the videos, the help articles, and the community to try and get your questions answered. Now, my name is Quentin. I really appreciate everyone being here today, and I'm looking forward to you subscribing to the YouTube channel so that we can catch up at later training events and go through some of the more advanced features of TV4Education. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.